So we also have we have a lot of uncommon fruits here. So if you want to do if you want to grow organic fruit in Kentucky, one of the big things is variety selection and plant selection in general. So like I said earlier, cherries don't do that well here. Plums don't do that well here. Peaches don't do that well here. For example, 1 out of every so years you'll get peaches, plums, and cherries, but a lot of times they will bloom when it's still cold, and a frost will come in and kill all the blooms. You won't get any. Another thing with peaches, they have fuzz on them. Okay, why would a plant? What's the adaptation for fuzz?
Cold?
No, the adaptation for fuzz is it's supposed to be in a dry climate. It has fuzz to collect dew.
Like
right?
lamb's ear.
So in a humid environment, they just don't do good here. Peaches rot here, or unless you spray them, you have to spray them a lot. So my point is that we grow a lot of fruit here that you probably have not heard of, but they do fantastic here. Like pawpaws, native to here. They're gaining popularity. They're this big mango-looking fruit. They're actually the largest fruit native to North America, and they look like a big mango kind of. They taste like a cross between kind of like a banana and a mango. They're custardy. They're really good. Anyway.
I think it has a tutti fruity flavor.
But also we do, like I said, tons of flowers. We have these beautiful dwarf zinnias, more. Lettuce going to seed. We've got onions that we need to harvest actually.
Please.
Let's take another look at this soil on another spot. Just look at that. It gets so incredible so quickly. There's so much life in there. So in a traditional garden where you're tilling, you are killing all of the life that's in the soil. And that's actually where your plants obtain their nutrients from. They obtain their nutrients from a symbiotic relationship with the microorganisms in the soil. And so when you till, you kill all of that. So they have to get their nutrients from another source, and that's where external fertilizer comes in. But instead, if you don't till and you encourage the life in the soil and the plants team up. What happens is the plants take energy from the sun and they transform it into sugars and carbohydrates. They send it down into their roots and they exchange those sugars and carbohydrates with the microorganisms in the soil. And the microorganisms' job is to go out and find the nutrients that plant needs, the exact ones. And so that's what's going on under there. And that's why we don't till. What we do instead is we cultivate that micro herd. So we never have to add fertilizer here. We've got more spiders, more lettuce going to seed, more lettuce. We've got yarrow going to seed, which is a great medicinal herb. This is actually, I love this plant. Do you recognize it?
Is it white sage?
This is white sage.
Yay!
White sage, you can grow white sage in Kentucky. You can grow it as an annual anywhere. It's has such a potent smell. It's like a sacred herb. Everyone knows, you make smudge with it basically. But it is just, wow, so potent. But we've got,
it's beautiful. Wow.
Pears, peppers, more lettuce. Like I said, what I can do, and in the future what we'll do is we'll prop these lettuces up and stuff, but it doesn't really matter. We've been busy with other endeavors, and I'm showing you this raw state in the first year. This is a first year garden, and honestly, we've had the toughest gardening year that I can remember in Kentucky, because we had, I'll give you an example. May, there was like 25 days of rain. So much rain in the spring, and then followed by just pure heat and no rain. So a lot of people's gardens right now are just completely toast. And that's with doing a lot. And we've done hardly anything here.
Yeah.
The majority of our work comes from planting and harvesting. Right here we have an awesome herb. This is, a lot of you may have have had it before. It's good for diabetics that want their sweet fix. This is stevia. Stevia grows here in Kentucky easily. This is stevia, and it is so sweet in its form like this. It's really, really sweet. Stevia. This is one of my favorite plants ever. This is called Anise hyssop or agastache. It's a cultivar, which means someone grew regular agastache and they chose one with really long spikes and they just kept growing it over and over. So this one has really tall, long spikes, and the bees love it. The pollinators love it. It's so beautiful. Let's see if it has the. Yeah, it's still, and the leaves. You can make tea out of them. It's a medicinal herb for like colds and flus. It tastes like sweet licorice. It's really, really good.
I can tell the difference in the leaves than the
Really?
normal one, though. Yeah,
This
they're
right
good,
here,
but different.
these are called tomatillos, and I forgot to harvest these the other day. But tomatillos are a little underrated crop. They're in the tomato family. They're used a lot in Mexican cuisine, and you've probably seen them in that green salsa verde. And they're very easy to grow. There's tons of them. But a trick that I will tell you that I've noticed, a lot of people don't have success when they grow just one. I believe you have to have two to cross pollinate. So I plant two right next to each other and I get tons of them. And they're just like, we don't really know what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to do something.
Those are going to be for seed, won't they?
This is a hybrid. So I'll tell you something about saving seed. There's two different types of vegetables basically. There's hybrids and there's heirlooms. Heirlooms are plants that when you save the seed from it, it will come back looking exactly like its parent. But a hybrid may not, and it probably won't. So, for example, if you were to save seed from an orange cherry tomato hybrid, it may, when you grow it again next year, it may be red cherry. It may be something crazy, a big tomato. You never know. So we pretty much save heirlooms here. We've got horehound. We've got another pear. We've got a nice Asian pear right here, first year. And really, you don't want to do this. You don't want to let your fruit trees fruit in the first year, with the exception of a few, because you want it to focus on really getting established with its roots. But Cheyenne loves these so much that I just said, whatever. The soil's really good. If your soil's really, really good, then you can get away with this a little bit. But usually you do not want to let your fruit trees fruit the first year, with the exception of like jujube, and I'll show you that later. But we still see, look at the health. I should have pruned these better, but I just didn't have the time. But it's okay.
They're lush.
They're still super productive, and they're out of the way. So next year we're gonna be a lot more neater, because I really like my gardens to be neat, and typically they are. And this is quite neat. There's not a weed in here basically, but this is late August, and your garden kind of may not look the best in late August. It's just the time of the year. But what we'll do, we'll have another video here in early October or so, and this will be completely different with all kinds of new vegetables, and it will be neat, and it'll be awesome. But here we have another pear, tomatoes. This is called pennyroyal. This plant has one of the most potent smells in the entire plant kingdom. And what you do with it is rub it on your arms. If you're prone to mosquitoes, rub it all over you. And I can't even explain the smell. If you haven't smelled this,
it's beautiful.
There's something that you haven't smelled in life, really. It's completely unique. But it's a potent medicinal herb. It's ancient. It's beautiful. It has these flowers. Be careful around it if you're pregnant. Actually, I think it has to be the extract that you have to be careful around, but I'm just saying that to be sure. Just be cautious, because this can be an abortifacient. But anyways, used as an abortifacient.
What is this one?
This is a pawpaw.
Pawpaw.
And, it didn't do fantastic earlier in the year because we had so much rain. When you plant a food forest in the first year, tons of spring rain is actually not the best ever, because your plants need to breathe just like you and I need to breathe. And with no evaporation due to it still being cold in the spring, it can be tough. But it handled it.